Hi, I'm Nicola, the Bonnie Gardener. The most common question I get asked as a gardener is, will you cut my grass? I think people assume that that's all that gardeners do, and quite rightly, because in my first job as a gardener, that was all I did. Every single Monday, I would spend 8 hours cutting grass, and at the end of the day, I'd walked 40,000 steps and done about 16 miles just cutting grass alone. So I understand why people don't like to cut their own grass. In today's episode, we're going to cover cutting grass and how to treat your grass, things to do at this time of year to make sure it's looking great. Three things that you need for grass cutting are a lawnmower, your edging shears and a half-moon tool. I use a petrol lawnmower because I go around to lots of people's houses and I don't always have access to plug points. But it's also good to use a petrol lawnmower so you don't have to worry about running over cables. Most mowers should have a height adjustment, and for the first mow of the year, make sure you do it on a high height to avoid scalping the lawn.
To avoid damaging the roots of the grass, isn't it?
Like most lawns across the west of Scotland, our lawn is mostly moss, but there are lots of ways and things that you can do to tackle that. The key thing to think about when you're tackling moss is to try and get to the bottom of the underlying cause of why the moss is there. Most of the time it is because of dampness and also compacted earth. Once you've got to the bottom of those things, you can then try to treat the moss by using a moss killer or by scarifying the ground. You can treat compacted earth by hollow tining. It removes cores from the lawn, and that's really good for improving drainage and reducing compaction. Spiking. It's far easier to use than a hollow tiner, and you can cover areas of lawn much quicker. One of the ways that you can treat moss in your lawn is by using a moss killer. Most spring lawn feeds contain a moss killing element. Just make sure that you read the packet instructions before you apply it, because applying too much can really ruin your lawn. This is a spreader. If you can, get your hands on one and it will make sure that you spread an even amount of feed across the lawn. A moss killer will take anything between a week and 2 weeks to work. You'll know that it's taken effect because the moss will turn black in the lawn. Once that's happened, you can take a rake and you can start to rake that moss out. And if you thought cutting grass all day was bad, try scarifying by hand instead. You'd soon go back to grass cutting. Once you're finished cutting the lawn, don't forget to edge. You can use edging shears or a half-moon tool and it will give it a really professional finish. No matter how big or small your garden is, you can compost. The best place to site your compost area is out of direct sunlight, away from any seating areas, and also somewhere where it's easily accessible so that you're more likely to use it. The important thing about composting is getting the appropriate combination of green waste and brown waste. Now, green waste is likes of your grass clippings and also vegetable peelings from the kitchen. So only uncooked vegetables, no cooked vegetables go in. Brown waste is small twigs, bits of paper and old fallen leaves. Aim for a ratio of 2 parts brown to 1 part green. Turn your compost once a season. That will introduce air into the mix and help it to break down quicker. If you start composting now, you can expect to have your compost ready in between 6 and 12 months' time. You'll know it's ready when it's got a nice crumbly texture. This week I've shown you 2 of the most laborious jobs in the garden, scarifying the lawn and turning the compost heap. The most important thing to remember is after all the hard work, take a seat, have a look and enjoy watching your garden grow. I've really enjoyed seeing the photographs and videos that you've all been sending into our Facebook page. I've particularly enjoyed seeing tomato plants, cucumber plants and even a veg box. So please, please, please continue to send them in. I've been really happy to see some of you use the toilet roll holder planting idea. So please keep ideas like that coming in via the Facebook page and we can all learn from each other during this lockdown period. Let's see what's growing in the garden this week. This is phlox. It looks like moss for most of the year, but in early spring it comes out with a gorgeous carpet of flowers. Rhododendrons are really common in Scotland because they love acidic soil. They come in all different colours and flower throughout the spring. This is a pieris. It has gorgeous bright red foliage in early spring, which makes a really nice contrast to the other greenery in the garden. It loves Scottish soil because it particularly likes acidic conditions.
And what else have we learned this week?
It must be spring because it's now warm enough to swim for some.